Alright, so we got game 2 here between Neenja and DesArch. We're here on Spiral Valley, another map by Rakim 1. So it's a really interesting map. There's a lot of resources here in the center. There's a little bit in these sides as well. Make it quite easy to try and wall yourself in. Be nice and protected early on here. And Neenja here in the purple. It's the Greeks on the south of the map. We've got DesArch in the yellow. The north of the map. That's Persia. Ooh, Idler. Idler alert. Idler alert. Idler alert. Storehouse is in a good spot to actually be really efficient for the food there, but then trying to use it as a wood storehouse, it's not a perfect wood storehouse, but at the same time, it does mean going for that initial chopping at the hunt storehouse really is just going to be everlasting. It's, you know, you don't have to worry about throwing up a second wood storehouse immediately there. The Ninja's actually going for an early stone storehouse. DesArch just doing a bit of distance gathering on the stone there. And I mean, that's not a huge amount of walk distance either, but ideally you are still going to want to get a proper wood storehouse in either player's case here. And yeah, there's a lot of resources in the center of the map. Three hunts, 4 berries, or 4 hunts really. 4 berries, 2 golds, a stone, another 2 stone, and another gold mine in these little stretches around the central spiral. Man, it's just a really confusing map sometimes. And there usually is still a little bit of food or gold out here, but Neenja in particular is going to really have to work to control outer resources. DesArch, second gold, in a little bit more of a convenient spot, I think. Like, if Ninjas was tucked back here, it'd probably be not so bad to try and second town center, but all the way up here, it's quite a bit of a waste. Same with this hunt. DesArch, I mean, if she goes for the town center here, this woodline's a bit of a mess around, really. She's still going to have to chop through, like, one of these 2 trees, and she can get on this hunt quite easily. Same with this other hunt over here. It's not too far away, and I mean, if she puts the town center there, it really helps protect her gold and her wood. So I think she's got a slightly better time with second town center decisions, whereas Neenja, they're all shit. All of his town center options here are pretty crappy, other than maybe just putting it right here in range of the first. And I mean, we're playing this sort of map here that you don't necessarily want to go. Oh, 9 goats there for DesArch. It's a really good job. I don't think Ninja's got any, so that's really good that she's managed to get 9 of those. But yeah, Ninja's town center options. We're playing the sort of map where you can get away with a greedy second town center, and it's sort of important because you're going to have more options with your market line setups later on, and just have better distribution of static defense to ward off cavalry. So Ninja's options for second town center here are really spaced apart to the point where that second town center is now going to be at risk of being sniped by your opponent. You know, in at any stage that you might lose a age 2 or age 3 fight, they can just push and take that town center. Whereas DesArch, it's close enough that, you know, you'll have the military production pretty much central between these two. It's a really tough nut to crack with only, you know, a 10 to 30 military population lead. You need to have like 50 to really get through there. But Neenja is just going to go for a second town center right next to his first. So even though this is going to be just as good at holding off people, it doesn't really give him any better control of resources. It's only giving him more access to wood. I mean, that first town center is always going to be bracing against some source of wood anyway. I mean, I suppose it does help with this stone mine, but even still the villagers have to travel all that way around. It's just outside of range there. This hunt and this gold are still a little bit too far away to really be well protected there. Ninja's going to go for stables. DesArch, no early production yet. Oh, this is really handy as well. This makes this second town center spot even handier. So she's got control of 2 gold mines already. She's already got all those goats, which is, you know, another 900 food that Neenja doesn't have access to. She's managed to go for these hippos as well. So Neenja hasn't really even got any hippos or anything here. A little bit further away there. And yeah, she can cut through this wood line, and it's only 1 to 2 trees thick and a lot of it. She's going to have a really easy control of a hunt there as well. So Neenja already having to go for the berries. I mean, he possibly could have risked going for the hunt here, but if DesArch scouts it, then he needs to invest in early game spearmen, and he wants to just go for early game saris here by the look of it. DesArch is going to go spears and stables. So I think on a map like this, it's going to be pretty standard to do something like that. Ninja's actually going to go for range, which I think, just given that the map is as big as it is, it's not massive, but it is a fairly long map from player to player. Like, it doesn't go the full distance side to side of some of the other maps. It's a little bit shorter. It's a bit like Arabia, that it's longer this way, but shorter this way than your standard map. And I mean, just given that there is this big spiral that makes it a real pain to just push into your opponent, range comps are a bit of a disadvantage. They're just slower than the melee, and well, that's pretty much it. Because I mean, with conditioning, even though it's only a 5% gain, you also don't have to worry about stutter stepping or kiting with your infantry, and on top of that, counter infantry. So not these two, but other Age of 2 infantry options are 7 speed, not just 6. And obviously, spears just counter the fastest early game thing, which is your cavalry. So I think playing around that food gold eco on a map like this is a real advantage. So Neenja going for double range. This can definitely work for him. I'm not going to deny that. But he needs the Toxotes to be the perfect count here to wear out this Spearman front line, Sparabara front line, but not just be a really nice, juicy pick-off for the Asabara. So, DesArch 41 villages, Neenja 39, but she's not producing any military at the moment. She's trailing in terms of overall pop by a little bit. She's going to have to try and pick up that food economy to maintain Asabara production here. Already up to 4 production structures at the moment. No bowmen on the way, but yeah, it's definitely going to need a little bit more food income just to fund dual Asabara, dual infantry, dual town center production here. We'll be getting aid 10. Neenja really starting to pull ahead in terms of that army size at the moment. Though he's not actually producing anything at the moment, he's just gotten himself housed. So Neenja, a little bit more of a mixed composition. He has got a barracks along with his 2 stables. He's been trying to push DesArch's villages here, but they're okay. Although they're chasing. I don't know why they're chasing. Oh, they're just going to wall themselves in. Alright, that's fair enough. So that's the thing, really. There's so many of these little chokes that if you can wall them all up, you can make it very hard for your opponent to push quickly here. Oh, in fact, Neenja is taking the long way around. He doesn't realize he's looking back at home, doing his macro. He is going to be able to get the villages, though. There we go. The DesArch's not evacuating them immediately either. And even though DesArch hasn't walled this segment, Neenja's going to opt to try and cut this down. So it's going to buy her some time still. She's going to have to add in more production. Getting an armory here, but this is a bit of a risky position for it. Because it's outside of town center range here. And this is nice. This Asabara push, there's not any spears to back this up at the moment. So, oh, there's one spear. DesArch just going to attempt to beeline for the Toxotes there, but eventually going to have to make her way out. But that Asabara is going to survive. Neenja having to pull his workers away from that hunt. This is a bit of a risk from DesArch, because if there is more than like 2 spearmen here, these guys just die. But if there's only 1 or 2 spearmen, you can get a lot of Toxotes or pick off a villager or 2. But with the 2 town center defense there as well, makes it even harder to try and push. More Asabara being a little thrown away there by DesArch, and Neenja actually going for a quick 3rd town center. I like this. Although I don't really like the fact that he's built a storehouse instead of the town center. But he does realize pretty quickly there, so he's going to get this. Oh, he's gone for 20 villagers to get this as quickly as possible. A lot of stone, wood, and gold here. Even a little bit of food. DesArch's going to try and wall the spiral. Got a good number of spearmen. Has lost a couple of Asabara now. So 50 villagers for her. 59 villagers for Neenja. Temper for DesArch on the way. Neenja has got an armory, but he hasn't yet got any armory upgrades. He can afford one now, so should probably look at getting one of those. He's going to go for barbed arrows. Maybe he was just stopping to think about, oh, have I got more melee or have I got more ranged? And when you take armor upgrades, you go, oh, does my opponent have more melee or do they have more ranged? So that's the real secret as to which upgrade you get. What is there the most of? Ask yourself that. And you will never worry again about which upgrade you should have. So, DesArch, a multi-villager wall-off, working there. But she doesn't get the villagers out in time. No! She's going to lose 3 of those pretty quickly there. Or 2 of them. And Ninja's just going to ignore the 3rd because he wants to take down the wall. DesArch could actually just start repairing this and buy herself like another 5 seconds there. Alright, so something's going to fight the villager. Everything's going to focus the scout first. Man, attacking a scout when literally anything else is in range is just... like, I'm not trying to have a go at Neenja or anything, because like the units were just auto-targeting there, I think. And they tend to prioritize stuff that's not actually that important, like ox carts and scouts. I mean, yes, ox carts, they're a little bit more expensive than a villager, but they also are a lot faster to train than a villager as well. You're actually not setting your opponent back as much in terms of time. You are setting them back more in terms of like the actual resources, but it's not always at that point the time that you spent to gather those resources initially is sort of sunk, depending on how the game's gone. Ninja's trying to push here, but DesArch is actually doing a bit of a push of her own, bringing the Asabara straight in, taking out a production facility, and maybe able to get another here if she can just focus it down, or keep these, as long as she keeps the Asabara away from spears, and the bowman in range of them, she might be able to get a few more buildings here. Ninja's forced to push, because he was trying to go for an attack of his own here. DesArch a few idlers here, so she's going to want to get them out of this fight. She is training, I mean she is trailing in terms of the eco population. Ninja on 3 town center here. With 73 vills to 53. Neenja, I don't know if his composition is going to be as good at pushing into structures as quickly. DesArch has been forced to try and fight through this and has now lost a lot of her melee. She's sending across some more bowmen. Ninja's finished up a fortress. It's going to make this very tough to push this other town center. She'll be able to get this first one. Ooh, Ninja's going to try and repair through it. Now the army focusing down the town center. They're going to be able to get it. And Ninja's taking out DesArch's production at the moment. She hasn't really got the resources to keep getting more either. There's not really a hunt or anything over here she can get on. She's going to have to try and make her way into the middle of the map somehow. Ooh, and with mostly ranged left up against the fortress and the town center, she can't really do much about that. And Neenja takes the game, so he's up 2-0 and takes the series. Well played to the pair of you. Some really entertaining games there. Me likey. So yeah, thank you both for playing. Actually, why don't we have a quick look at the quest stats? I get a bit lazy with this. Vahoover actually sometimes nags me to do a bit more of this. And even with my own games, not just with other players. So yeah, Neenja, once he got that third town center, the villager production really started to open up for him. But I think Destroyer Archer did have a bit of a chance there. In fact, that push at the end, they're on very similarly sized armies. In fact, she was slightly up overall. I think just with switching between targets from the town center to the army, she could have been a bit quicker there, because I noticed she had a lot there, had it to about half health, and then it really sort of fell apart from there. That the second half of that town center's health took about 3 times as long to get down as the first. Neenja, I think he was sort of stuck deciding between taking out production buildings or the town center. Sort of took out one, started taking the barracks, and then went for the town center. So both players, I think they didn't necessarily prioritize how they pushed there at the end as best as possible. But Neenja, given that he was already up to 3 town center, losing a town center isn't anywhere near as big of a blow. And then, in spite of what I was saying about DesArch having a much safer early game food and gold layout here, the moment she takes this first push, it all sort of falls apart. She's really struggling for food at the end, whereas Neenja, even once he'd lost this, I suppose he's already transitioned to farms. And he did he get one of those hippos there, or has he just been training Vils and not rallying him to anything? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching that game. We've got Dimmy versus Hades next.